For years, Paris Saint-Germain tried to transform into a mega club filled with the brightest football stars their own money could buy. They started with names like Thiago Silva and Ibrahimović, but quickly evolved, signing the likes of Neymar, Mbappé and Messi. That obviously raised the club's status in the eyes of modern football fans. Whether you like it or not, PSG is the most successful club in French football history and one of the most recognized sports brands globally. However, it's clear that PSG has failed to fulfill their ultimate destiny. Despite all the money spent, they haven't been able to win the Champions League with a strategy they've relied on for the last decade. Now, they've decided to pivot, shifting their focus back to building a young, homegrown squad. No superstars, no egos. But is that really the smartest move? In this video, I'll dive deep into PSG's transformation from a local club to an international superpower and discuss whether their new strategy is the best path forward or if you'll end up destroying whatever's left of PSG. But first, let me give you some context. PSG is by no means a historic club. They're probably younger than your parents, having been founded only in 1970 after the merger of Paris FC and Stade Saint-Germain. Obviously, being located in one of Europe's most important cities, the club was destined for success. There was a huge untapped market in Paris and PSG quickly became one of the biggest clubs in the country. Now, you might think they only started winning titles recently, but by their 10th year, PSG was already a top half team and by the early 80s, they were on the league podium. Throughout that decade, they won 2 Coupe de France titles and in 1986 finally claimed their maiden league crown. It took them just 16 years to reach the top of French football. To put that into perspective, that's like a club founded in 2008 winning the league today, or the same amount of Tottenham has gone without a trophy. But even though their start in the City of Love was promising, it wasn't all a bed of roses. By the late 80s, PSG was already in crisis, even struggling to stay in Ligue 1. Still, we're talking about Paris here. Any smart investor could see it as a massive opportunity and Canal Plus took that chance. During the 90s, PSG received huge investments from the French media outlet. As a result, they won 9 trophies and reached 5 consecutive European semi-finals, including their first UEFA Champions League last 4 appearance and 2 more in the UEFA Cup. Their crowning moment came in the 1996 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup final with club legend Luis Fernandez as coach. Bruno Gotti scored the only goal to defeat Rapid Wien, making PSG only the second French club to win a major European tournament, and the youngest in history to do so at just 26 years old. Domestically, they were just as successful. Paris celebrated their second league title, won 3 French Cups, 2 League Cups and 2 French Super Cups. It seemed like they were on the track to become the biggest team in France. Saint-Etienne was already a shadow of its former self, and Marseille's image had been tainted by corruption scandals. But it wasn't meant to be. Paris went all in, overspending on stars like Nicolas Anelka and Peter Lussin in a desperate push to win Ligue 1 and make a solid Champions League run. But that investment backfired. By 2003, PSG was running a €65 million deficit, forcing Canal Plus to push out both the club's president and coach. But the changes didn't prove anything, and soon PSG parted ways with the TV network altogether. After that, PSG became better known for jumping from one crisis to another rather than consistently winning titles. In fact, by 2008, PSG were on the brink of relegation, only saved on the last match day thanks to 2 goals from Amara Diané. At that point, PSG was just another team in Ligue 1, far from the levels of Lyon, Marseille and Bordeaux. Yet, the potential was always there, and things were about to change in ways they could have never imagined when Qatar Sports Investments purchased the club in 2011. This time, the goal wasn't just to win Ligue 1. For QSI, that was almost a given. The real mission was to win the Champions League and become the most successful and recognizable football brand in the whole world. And they weren't kidding around. In their first summer as billionaires, PSG had one of the most remarkable transfer windows in French football history, bringing in Matuidi, Sirigo, Maxwell, Gameiro and Pastore. But it wasn't until 2 years later, with the help of Zlatan Ibrahimović, Captain Thiago Silva and the trailblazing, eyebrow-raising Carlo Ancelotti, that they finally won Ligue 1. From then on, you know the story. PSG won almost every Ligue 1 title, missing only in 2017 and 2021, along with 23 domestic cups. Over time, they added global superstars like Edinson Cavani, Angel Di Maria, Neymar, Kylian Mbappé and even Lionel Messi. That combination of domestic dominance and famous players turned PSG into a global brand. They opened stores in major cities like New York, London, Miami, Tokyo and Seoul. PSG became the biggest club in France on every level: recognition, revenue and success. They even became a fashion brand, attracting people who couldn't care less about football. But they never quite reached their ultimate goal, did they? Chelsea's story wasn't complete until they won the Champions League. The same goes for Man City. There's always a stigma around clubs that rise to the top artificially, and the quickest way to legitimize their success is by winning Europe's biggest prize. But despite coming close multiple times, PSG always faltered when it mattered the most. From blowing a 2-0 lead in the 2013-14 quarterfinals to the infamous La Remontada against Barcelona where they lost 6-1 after winning 4-0 in the first leg, PSG have consistently found ways to fall short. Even after signing Neymar, Mbappé and Messi, they couldn't get past the round of 16 in 2 consecutive seasons. In 2020, they finally made it to the final, but even then, they couldn't seize their biggest opportunity, losing to Bayern Munich. Since then, it's been more of the same. Big names, big egos, but no big trophies to show for it. So after almost a decade of splashing the cash on superstar players, PSG decided to change course. They didn't try to prevent the departures of Neymar and Messi in 2023, and they didn't replace them with other superstars, which showed a clear intent to move away from that strategy. It's pretty evident that this isn't a coincidence, but instead a clear intention to move away from what has never worked. Their plan became even more apparent after the departure of Kylian Mbappé. I mean, they basically had a full year to come up with a replacement, and ultimately, Barcola will be the main man up front for the foreseeable future. Now, is that the right move? Honestly, I don't doubt they'll continue to dominate Ligue 1, and if they cultivate a healthier, more cohesive environment, I wouldn't be surprised if PSG wins the Champions League before the end of this decade. But PSG is at a crossroads. Without their superstars, they've lost a lot of the casual fans who were drawn to the big names, not the club. So even if they win the Champions League, will anyone care? Here's my take. PSG doesn't need superstars to thrive. They have a huge, loyal fan base in Paris and the surrounding region. If they focus on building a real identity, one that's about representing the city and giving opportunities to local talent, they can create something bigger than just being an oil money club. And when that happens, people will respect PSG no matter who's wearing the shirt. But what do you think? Will PSG's new strategy pay off, or will they regret letting go of their superstars? Let me know your opinion in the comments, as I always go through every single one of them. Drop a like to help push this small channel to more football fans like you, and subscribe to never miss another upload from Throne FC. Thanks for watching until the end, I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.